Okay, so we need pi r squared is our formula. And I can show you something cool about that someday when we have like tons of time. So the area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. And it's giving us the area. So 78.5 equals pi times the radius squared. And it tells us it wants us to use 3.14 for pi. Okay. So we know that we want to find out what the radius is. So let's get this 3.14 out of the way. Right now it's being multiplied, so the opposite, we're going to want to divide. And you're allowed to use a calculator, so that's handy. So at least we don't have to worry about the arithmetic. So I have 78.5 divided by 3.14. 25. Awesome. I think they did that on purpose so we'd get a nice even number, don't you? Yeah, it's more than a nice even number, as you will see in a minute. But 25 doesn't equal r. It equals r squared. Huh. So here, all of this time, you've learned inverse operations, where you have an operation and you have an inverse. So if something was added, you did the inverse of subtract. If something was subtracted, you did the inverse of add. If something was multiplied, like just now, we had multiplied and we did the inverse of divide. If something was divided, we did the inverse of multiply. And all of a sudden, we have something new. If something is squared, we need a new inverse. And there is one. Ta-da! That's good, right? Because otherwise we can't solve this problem. And the inverse of square is to take the square root. I'm going to write the words in here. So if I want to get just plain r out of 25, I have to take the square root of r squared and take the square root of 25. I know. This is like totally new math. The square root of r squared is r. Which is what we want. And the square root of 25, square root means a number times itself that would give you 25. Well, let's think about it. 1 times 1 equals 1. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 4 equals 16. All of these numbers are called perfect squares, where its whole numbers times themselves gives us these numbers. 1, 4, 9, 16. And then we get to 5 times 5 equals 25. Dun, da, da. So 5 squared equals 25, which means that the square root of 25 equals 5. So that calculator that you had that was different than the ones you usually have, this is why. Because if I go grab calculator, so this is the regular calculator. Look right here. There's a square root sign. And I can push that. If I put 25 and then push that square root thing, look what it gives me. 5. And that is the radius of the circle. I know my perfect squares, so, but it's going to take a while for you to learn all of your perfect squares. Okay, so I'm going to stop this now. And like I said, I'll put the